Hello and welcome to part number 2 of Bollywood in Dubai. So this is our evening tour. So in part number 1 we covered the entranceway and all the other shops and different bits and pieces that they had on offer. So there were some cafes and some massive elephants. So if you've not seen any of that, just hunt down within this playlist part number 1. But what we are going to do now is we're going to go and hunt down some of the new rides that have been installed within the different sections of the Bollywood Park and just soak in all the different lighting and everything that they've got on offer. It's very much a case of spot the people because the park is open. It is only 7:30 at night. The park's open till 9 p.m. and there are very, very, very few people here just because of the time of year, I think, and the fact that the expo is on. I learned some new bits and pieces when I was on the plane about this park. That there should have been a Six Flags of Dubai opening up as another theme park. So they were going to expand and have a fourth theme park. So no idea how that would have worked with the other three that were already there, but they had a load of rides in storage, that being one of them. And the rides that they had in storage they've now added into the Bollywood section of the park instead. So I think the Six Flags has completely fallen through. So that's from the information that I've tried to find out about the different parks that they have on offer. So this section of here is a massive theatre which we do go into on the daytime visit, but the doors were locked on the nighttime. But it does look obviously very, very effective with all the water and all the lights and things. Now the Ferris wheel that you see there is a huge Ferris wheel. That is part of their new installments. All these different bits and pieces that we're about to come to now, all of these have just recently been installed and installed as a clump for this working season. So there's a couple of different bits and pieces down here. I think we've got 4, maybe 5 different rides. Again, when I went down here, none of them were running, so I have managed to sort of cut in some other footage of them working. So hopefully now you're about to see this one working at a completely different night. So I had to come back to try and catch it working. So as you can see, I've got it going and the Ferris wheel in the background's changed colour. But it's a fancy thing. You sit down, you tip yourself forward, so you sort of shoot around like a Superman or Superwoman position, and it tips and spins you around as you go. And then what we'll do, we'll carry on and go around and we'll see the other different bits and pieces. But yeah, it's very, very deserted on this evening, so it's a bit of a shame there's no atmosphere, and it's sort of a bit not so much uncomfortable, but it was just a little bit bizarre walking around a fully working theme park with all the members of staff sort of sat there waiting, and it's almost like you didn't want to go on anything because it was just being new and it sort of just seemed a waste. But I did manage to get on the Ferris wheel because that's one of the things I did want to go on to see the view. So I think in this video I will take you up and around so you can see the scale of the Bollywood Park and all the other different bits and pieces. Now that Ferris wheel is directly beside the Legoland water park. Now annoyingly, I went numerous times to try and get on that ride during the day. The park opens up at 12 o'clock noon, and they weren't allowing anybody on that ride until 5 p.m. in the afternoon, and I was doing other bits and pieces and other filming, so I never managed to get back on it and show you the scale of the Legoland water park at the daytime, which is a little bit of a shame. I don't know why they open up all the rides so staggered. The park is open till 9 o'clock. Like I said, it opens up at 12 o'clock lunchtime. There's nobody here anyway, and all the rides are open, but a lot of the rides weren't actually open at 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. If you've been before, if that's a common thing, can you let everybody in the comments below know if that's a normal thing, or if it's just very much a case of it's just the time of season, because this was filmed in February and it's sort of it is what it is. But as you can see, the lighting is extremely impressive. There's no queue at all. All these rides are open and available. The members of staff are there to let you on. But again, it's something that I didn't do. I sort of just filmed everything very, very quickly and then left and went back to the hotel. But it's very, very pretty at night. That's the one thing I will say about the Bollywood Park. It does look very, very impressive, and the light show on here is very, very impressive as well. But the view you get and you see is also very, very nice. So I look forward to showing you those. But in the comments, let me know what you think. What would you think about coming at this time of year? Would you be the kind of person to go, absolutely, I'd love to come here now, or would you much prefer it if there's a little bit more of an atmosphere? I've said in multiple videos before, the music is obviously still very, very loud, so I've turned all the music down and done a voiceover over the top just because I didn't think you'd be able to hear me speak to the microphone of the camera. But let me know what you think. The rides that are available in Bollywood, they're all motion simulators, so they're all basically the sort of same kind of thing. You sit in like a little cinema and you just sort of bounce around on the seats, or you have smaller versions as well. There's only 2 roller coasters in the Bollywood Park, which you'll see in the third video, and one of them is going to be the new largest wooden roller coaster, I do believe, or it's going to be one of the quickest. It says it's going to be the world's first, so what that's going to be, I don't know. But again, that is opening up by the looks of it sometime in the 2022 season. And I have also found out that the John Wick ride, along with the Now You See Me ride, was also supposed to be opened up for the Six Flags of Dubai, which again has completely fallen through. So I don't know how much more they're going to expand and what else they're going to do, but it's impressive. It's nice to see. It's one of those where you've seen it and you sort of tick it off, but I don't know. I'm still sort of sat on the fence, even watching it back. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know with the scale of the parks and everything else. If it was one of those where I'd have liked it to have some more people there, so you could actually just seen the rides working, and it felt like you're walking around a theme park. It kind of felt like you're walking around a really bright and vibrant museum. But at the same time, we get to see everything. We get to see everything on the camera, which is really, really nice. And the staff were really friendly at this park. Had a bit of a chit chat to some of the members of staff, and they're making sure everything was all right, because obviously walking around by yourself with nobody about, they're just making sure that it's all okay. So they are very, very friendly. Right, so directly in front of us where that gate is the Hall of Heroes. Now there's 3 different ways to get in. You've got the long sort of main entrance / shaft straight down the centre. And you can walk past loads and loads of pay-to-play games, or you can do what I've done, do this horseshoe on this side or the other side of the park as well, and you can just go in and have a look around, but that's in a completely different video. And it's, but again, very, very bright, very, very vibrant in there. And they are where your main motion simulators are. So I was saying before that it's basically everything up until this point was very, very similar with regards to rides. It was all sort of motion simulator based stuff. You were sat in the little seats, and they had all the screens and everything bouncing around. But with all these additions, these are now, it's changed the park sort of a bit, because it's not nothing within this section of the park is obviously a motion simulator, as you can see as we're walking around. Now you might have spotted some of the yellow bins as well. They were like the biohazard bins, because they were very much a case of any gloves or masks from members of staff or non-members of staff went in its own separate bin, because they still have very, very heavy COVID restrictions. Like I did say, this is February 2022, so they were making sure everybody was keeping their distance, and they were making sure everybody was putting all the different bits and pieces on the floor and things like that. So we'll have a little bit of a light show now with regards to the wheel, and as you can see, it is moving around quite slowly, and that is obviously the pace of how this reel works. And then I do believe we'll then jump in the queue, have a look around, and then we'll get on and have a quick look on the inside of the ride as well. But so far, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the rides that you've seen. Would it be somewhere where you would want to come with your family? If you were to come to Dubai Parks and Resorts as a group or by yourself, would you buy a multi-hop park pass ticket? Would you just buy the one ticket? Would you want to come to multiple parks? Because there are a couple of different ways you can do it. I do believe you can buy like a dual park pass, where you can hop between the 2 parks for a couple of days, or you can buy an annual pass. It worked out to me to get an annual pass just because it was so cheap and it was on a sale, and then it just allowed me to go to every single park as many times as I wanted to do, and it was done. But originally, when this first opened, the annual park passes were more expensive than Disney. So anybody that's watching in America, it didn't work very, very well. Apparently it didn't attract a lot of people down. It didn't have the tourists that they expected to start with, and it was a little bit of a struggle, because when it all first opened up, none of the rides were open anyway. But yeah, it's quite interesting to see how much the prices have dropped so quickly, and I think now the actual park pass isn't that bad for an annual pass. So if you're going to come down for a week and you're by yourself, or you're with your partner or whatever, and you want the luxury of going into all the parks, then it's just definitely worth doing. Right, so we are now in the Ferris wheel, and we're going to take a good look up and round. This is very chopped up, only because you can't see anything from the bottom. You can't see anything from the right hand side, because of you've got the base and everything. And then we come up and round, so for the next couple of minutes we will see everything that they've got on offer from Bollywood and further afield. So that multicoloured thing is a massive swing. It is the tallest one in existence, and I did go on that one, and I got to the top, and it was unbelievably windy when I went. You sit in It's literally like an old-fashioned swing you'd sit in a park, where it's just got like the chain links and you've got your seat where you just often buckle yourself up, and it just spins round and round and round in a circle. Um, it was all right. It was okay. But yeah, the ride went on for quite a long time, so you ended up feeling a little bit sickish and dizzy. I'm not too sure that it was just because the strength of the wind that was there, but you got a great view up at the top, because obviously you are on top of absolutely everything, and you can see for a serious distance. So I would say that is definitely recommended to go on, and that is another new addition that they've added in. So they've added in all of these at the same time. So everything in the land that we've just done now is all new, including this swing as well. So it would have been interesting to have seen the scale of what this Six Flags would have been, and how many more rides and roller coasters that they've got to add in, if they were ready to open a full-fledged theme park. And if you know the reasons why it fell through, let us know in the comments below. I've not dug into it too much, but I'm always interested into the reasons why things work or they don't work. Um, Going back to the Bollywood Park itself, it would be a place, if it was busy, you would be queuing up for a long, long time. That's one thing that I would imagine would happen quite easy because of the motion simulators. The rides themselves, say for example, they run 10-15 minutes a pop. You just don't, the queue doesn't move that much, and the rides are very, very small. It's not a massive turnover of people. So if the park is busy, you would be queuing up for a large amount of time. They have got an absolute fantastic arcade style shooter, which is brilliant. But they did have a very, very bizarre cricket motion simulator, which you will see in another video. So what I just tried to do there is actually look at the Legoland Water Park. So what was behind us was the Legoland Water Park, and you could kind of see a little bit, but the problem is you had then all the lights, which are miles and miles away as well. And it didn't really pick up on the camera because I just had the GoPro. I didn't have the camera with the zoom. So the plan was to come back during the day and we could have a good look. Now, I'm not too sure if they weren't allowing people on this till 5 o'clock, because the water park was open till 5. So I don't know if it was an agreement where they weren't allowing people on this ride until 5, until the water park had closed. But you were so high up in the air, you weren't going to see anything anyway. So there must be a reason behind it. So anybody in the comments, let us know if you've been here before, even if you work here. Really interested to know. So looking at that long thing again, if you look at the blue light, that is the swing. So if you keep your eyes peeled on that, you'll see the lighting on the swings going around and how it kicks you out, and it just goes up and up and up and up and up to the top. And then it does go some, but you can see how many times you'd swing. So if you get motion sickness or you're scared of heights, that is something that you definitely do not want to go on at all, because yeah, it stays at the top for ages. But everything that you can see in front of that tall thing is all Bollywood. Now if you look carefully to the left hand side, where you've got the red lighting sort of directly to the left of the swing, that I do believe will be the Hunger Games section of Motion Gate, and that does look very, very impressive lit up at night. That then head off into Dubai itself, so it's really difficult from this side to sort of gather exactly where the water park is, to where it finishes to all the other lights, which is it's a bit of a shame, but hopefully you guys can sort of see it clearly on your TV as I'm doing this. But I did what I could. But yeah, you can see the swing has just started to come back down, so you're 3/4 of the way down, and it is still spinning. So you spin for a good couple of minutes on that, and then directly below us you've got their 3 or 4 new rides of their new section. To the right hand side, that tall building, that is sort of their theatre, and then to the left you have the Hall of Heroes. And the Bollywood Park does keep going, so it's not picking up on the camera is that where that, again, the tall swing is, there's more bits and pieces behind that. It does rope round as like another big horseshoe shape. So that's all the bits and pieces that we're going to explore in part 3. I think there's only 3 parts for this. So the other part for the night tour, there's a lot more restaurants and rides, and we do look at some of the roller coasters, and you have that weird and wonderful cricket motion simulator, that's something to be seen. That's just a very bizarre experience, that one, but it's also something that's stuck in my memory, so it's done what it's needed to have done. And you saw some other lights down there, some multicoloured lights. That's from a different theme park. That I do believe would have been from maybe the Legoland Park as well, because the Legoland Park is very, very close. So the back end of the parks are very close together, but to get to the entrance, which again is available in other videos, you can see how far and how long it takes you to walk to each gate. So everything to my left at the moment, you have the water park, and then you have the Legoland Park, so you can see the lights there. And then on the other side, it would have been all the motion gate, which is a bit of a trek round. And it's a real shame actually with the Lego Park that they closed sort of before dusk, so you didn't get the chance and the opportunity to go around at night and sort of soak it all in. But I am hopefully going to go to Billund for the 2022 season for Halloween, because they do have the Legoland Park open till 8-9 o'clock at a weekend, and obviously it's winter, so it'll be pitch black from like 4-5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then for the first ever time, I'll get to see everything lit up at night with their mini lamps and things, because that's an experience to see as well, because of how they have all their animatronics and everything lit. It's lovely. And again, the difference with the Legoland Park for the Dubai, it's indoors, so they did turn the lights off, and you had a bit of a light show. It seems to be very, very a vibrant place. Dubai Parks and Resorts. It doesn't matter if you get Motion Gate, if you're in Bollywood or the Legoland. They did everything possible to make it as attractive as possible to the eye for lighting. I think that's one of their key things, what they aim for. They just want to make it as bright and as vibrant as possible, just so it's something to speak about and see. So we are coming to the end of this ride now, so I think some of you might be quite happy that it might be almost over. Some of you might be really enjoying it. Again, let us know what you guys think of it all. It is what it is basically with this park. It's quiet, but it's very, very bright and vibrant, and it's just something to be seen. But I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. But if you can like and subscribe and all that good stuff, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You guys take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-da.